Assalamu alaikum. Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. I am Vincent Ware, Deputy Director of CARE of Massachusetts, the Council on American Islamic Relations. And I'm here with my colleague.
Assalamu alaikum. My name is Mariam Aida, and I'm the civil rights attorney working with CARE Massachusetts, and I'm here to help facilitate this overview of the Advocacy Day handbook.
We're excited to welcome you to this Massachusetts Muslim Day at the State House on Tuesday, June the 10th, 2025. This is a vital opportunity for our voices to be heard as legislators propose and vote on policies that directly impact our communities.
I'm going to share my screen and pull up the Advocacy Day program guide handbook. All right, here it is. So this is the cover of the handbook, and you guys will all get a copy of that. And it's really helpful. It gives context, it gives the agenda of the day of program, and it also gives you your talking points and your script. That will all be really helpful to be as prepared as possible for the Muslim Advocacy Day, inshallah. Starts off with a verse talking about the importance of justice. As Muslims, that's our goal, is to always support those goals. And here's a table of contents. So there's a welcome that just gives you an idea of what we're doing and why we're doing it. The program schedule, which Brother Vincent will go over as well. Government 101. This is really helpful. It's kind of like a civics overview, but very clear in one page. So definitely read that. It takes a couple minutes. It'll help you understand kind of the context of where we are when it comes to our lobbying component. Then we'll look at the legislative priorities. Those are essentially the asks that we are going to be incorporating part of our script of what we're asking from the legislators. And then right here is what you should be focusing a lot on. So page 6 to 8. So preparing for your meeting, some tips and flow, and then the ask as well as your talking points. And we'll look at that together as well. And the end also includes the map of the State House.
Okay, on page 3 of your handbook, you're going to find the program schedule. We're asking everyone that have registered for this day to arrive at 8:30 a.m. It's very important that we are promptly in on time because the doors open at 9 a.m. We ask everyone to make sure that you're there at 8:30 a.m. because the doors open at 9 a.m. Once we enter through the security clearance, we will go up to room 428. In room 428, we will have our registration, and we will also have our folders that we will give to the team captains as well as handouts for participants. Promptly at 10 a.m., we're going to start our program with opening remarks from Representative Howard, as well as we're going to conduct a brief and concise orientation and brief training. By this time, everyone should have already gone through our training, have access to the training, as well as have a copy of the handbook. From 11 a.m. to 1 p.m., this is the time that we're going to meet with our lawmakers, our state senators, as well as representatives. So this is pretty much the most important part for you. When you meet with your lawmakers, we want you to invite them to lunch because we're having lunch at actually at 12:45 p.m. Lunch will be provided by Black Seed. It's all halal. So this is an excellent opportunity also to get to know your legislator as well as other Muslims throughout the Commonwealth. Promptly at 1:30 p.m., this is where you have an opportunity to take a break and really listen to this component of the legislative briefing. At the briefing, we're going to have Senator Jamie Eldridge, as well as Representative Howard, the two co-sponsors for the American Muslim Commission Bill. They will share with their colleagues in the community why it's so important for us to have this bill, what impact it's going to have in the lives of Muslims throughout the Commonwealth, and how this will actually give us a seat at the table. And then we'll have our closing remarks, our closing dua, and then the adhan will be called for the dhuhr prayer. So we are encouraging everyone to stay to the end so that we all can uh, end this day in congregational prayer. We'd like to move on to page 4.
All right. So as we mentioned, Government 101, really great page to take your time, look at, get some context about where we are in this process. Uh, so we are going to the Massachusetts State House, which is different from the federal government and the process that they go through. And specifically look at the what is lobbying piece. So that's what we're going to be doing 11 to 1. So I would recommend you read that part. And we'll go right into the legislative priorities on page 5.
Yes, so it's very important that we know the priorities of the day. The first priority is to bring to the awareness of our legislators the importance of the Muslim Commission Bill to our community. So what does the Muslim Commission Bill does? It will establish a full-time body to study and address issues affecting Muslims across the Commonwealth. It will recommend policy changes in education, public safety, housing, and employment. If this bill passed, it will be the first of its kind in the history of the United States. So this is truly a historical moment, and it really matters to our community so that we can have a seat at the table.
And just to briefly touch on the other two legislative priorities, we are encouraging our community to make the ask for the Safe Communities Act, which prevents the state officials from cooperating with the federal ICE agents, as well as the Dress and Grooming Protections Bill, which would prohibit physical enforcement of dress codes, which generally affects the Muslim hijabis who have faced unequal treatment due to how they dress. So we're going to be making all three of those asks with the focus on the Muslim Commission Bill.
Okay, preparing for your meeting. It's very important that you read this particular page carefully. Make sure you are aware of the meeting tips below, as well as the talking points, which is on page 7. We want you to be very familiar with the agenda as well as the expectations. So make sure that you take your time on the meeting tips as well as the talking points on page 7.
Yes, so you can take your time and go through that. Um,
One thing I would like to point out is that we're going to provide leave behind documents. Make sure that your representative or the staff member receive a copy of the leave behind documents, as well as encourage them to attend the legislative lunch and briefing. And don't forget to ask for a group photo.
yes, and then share with us afterwards. Um, so we'll just go down to making the ask. There's a couple tips that we wanted to know as well. So just making sure that you're direct, asking clearly, will you sponsor the Muslim Commission Bill? And another tip that we were going to highlight is staying respectful and firm. Um, a good question that we got during the training was how to answer if someone were to say no. And a good response would just respectfully ask why. So thank you for those of you who are in the training who encouraged that dialogue.
And I also want to note that there are some senators as well as representatives that have already co-sponsored the bill. So for those that have already co-sponsored the bill, we just want to show our gratitude and thank them for being out front in this initiative and how important it is for our community. And just, continue to, let them know that we're grateful for their support.
Mhm. Thank you for that. And then here we have the talking points. So this is going to be really good for you to get the background and context of why we are here. And again, we would encourage you to read those yourselves. Um, and what we really want to highlight is the fact that we have provided a sample script. This is very helpful. It's on the end of page 8. And that is something that you could read directly from when you're at the offices that you plan on going to lobby. I don't know if you want to add anything else to that, Vincent.
No, that's fine. This will help us guide the conversation, be very concise and clear in our communication.
Hmm. And right here, there's a insert personal story or reflection. That's something that your team captain and the participants will go over what that would look like and what story that would be. But for the most part, we have a good framing of the discussion there. And we have also included a map of the State House. Again, for the most part, we'll be in room 428 on the fourth floor, aside from where you will be going when you're meeting with these state reps and senators.
So thank you all for joining us on this historic day. We look forward to seeing you on Tuesday, June the 10th, 2025 at 8:30 a.m. Inshallah.
And
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.